Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're going to be adding fractions as well today, in addition to simplifying fractions. We'll be doing that all week, so all week I'll make a short video on simplifying fractions, and I'll make a short video on adding fractions. Now remember, Isaac, we cannot add fractions unless they have the same what? Unless they have the same denominator. So Caden, does this problem, 1/2 and 1/5, have the same denominator? No. It has the same numerator, but not the same denominator. So we got to think of a multiple of 2 and 5 that they both have. Miss Balios, 10. 10. So we're going to make both of these have a denominator of 10, and we're going to do it without changing the value. Without changing the value. Believe it or not, they used to be even worse looking number ones when I first started teaching. Of course, when I first started teaching, I had to write on a chalkboard, so that's how old I am.
I'm older than you.
All right, then we have to ask ourselves, Polari, what do I multiply by 2 to get 10? 2 times what equals 10? Count by 2s if you need to.
5.
5. So I need to multiply this by a fraction that equals 1. So 5 over 5. Because if I multiply 2 times 5, that's going to get me 10. The 10 is already there. Miss Balios said we had to have 10 because it was a multiple of both 5 and 2. So now we got to do the hard part. Oh, let me call on.
What school did you teach at?
I've taught at a couple different ones. All right, I got to call on the smartest person in class because this is a difficult problem. Travis, what is 1 times 5? 5.
You're so smart.
So now 1/2 is the same as saying 5/10. If I got my 1/2 and my 5/10, I would see they are exactly the same. Same value, same size. They both equal 50%. They both equal the decimal 5/10, 0.5. Now I got to do the same thing to 1/5. And I'm going to ask, Brianna, what would I multiply by 5 to get 10?
2.
2. And since I needed a fraction that equals 1, I make it 2 over 2. How did I pick that? Because my denominator has to be 10. This already says 10. So that's how I know I have to multiply by 2. Now I got to go to the smartest person in the class. And I ask Travis, what is 1 times 2? 2. Now, as Isaac told me earlier, I can add these two fractions because they have the exact same denominator. And so I go 2/10 plus 5/10. And Courtney, what is 2/10 plus 5/10?
10. Wait, 5 plus 2. Wait, 5 plus 2. 7.
7 over 10. Remember, we do not add the denominators together. We do not add the denominators together. Otherwise, that's going to change. Because if I had 5/10, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/10, and I added 2/10, that would give me 7/10. If we added the denominators together, we'd get 7/20, and a 20th is half as big as a 10th.
But we don't want to cut them up, but now take them up.
And that would mean we'd have way less than this size. And we need it to be that size in order for it to be equal. But now let me ask a question. Drea, Can you think of anything that divides evenly into 7 and 10 both? You can't think of anything? Let's check. Let's check just to be sure. We'll find our factors of 7 and our factors of 10. We always start with 1 in itself. Anything else that multiplies together to equal 7? Nothing else? So 7's what kind of number? Prime. Because it only has 1 in itself. 10, we'd have 2 and 5. Anything else? No. What they have in common is just 1. If what they have in common is just 1, then my answer is already in simplest terms. Let's do one more, because I do want to give you a chance to do your work today, because I know how important that is to you to get your work done. So let's look at the problem. Let's take, we'll do a different one here. Let's try this one. 2/4 plus 9/10. So now there's a couple ways we can look at this problem. So Emma, we're adding 2/4 and 9/10. Can we add them the way they're currently written?
No.
No. Why not?
Because their denominators aren't the same.
Their denominators are not the same. All right. So Emma, tell me what you want to do in order to solve this problem. Anybody have an idea of how to solve this problem? Ms. Balios? I could do fifths. Well, 4 times nothing equals a 5. So how can I do fifths? We could change 2/4 to 1/2. And I could do that if I have my pieces or I'm on my electronic one. 2/4 does equal to 1/2. So I could take 1/2 and I could take 9/10. And then Miss Balio said I could make them into what? Can't make it into fifths because 2 times nothing equals a 5. But what would be a common denominator for 2 and 10? Isaac? 10. You're on the right track here, though. So, okay, so let's think about that. Let's think about what you said here. 2/4 can also be written as what? 1/2, or another way to write it? We could have made this 5/10, right? Because I know 1/2 and 5/10 are equivalent. So I could have made this 5/10.
It would be easier so you could add it.
And then it already has the common denominator. So I like what you're thinking. Because if we just take 4 and 10, our least common denominator would be 20. But now we've saved us some work here. Let me ask this question. Miss Little, is my answer going to be less than or greater than 1? Greater than 1. Because 9/10 is really close to 1. And 5/10 is half. So now I have close to 1 plus a half, which is going to give me greater than 1. All right, Saraya. 5/10 plus 9/10? 14/10. And as we said, that is greater than 1. It is an improper fraction. So, Sumeda, what do you want to do with 14/10? Because I cannot leave it as an improper fraction. Good. I can divide 10 into 14. And that goes one time with a remainder of 4. So it would be 1 and 4/10. But what else can I do now? I can simplify it even more, Soraya.
You can also do 1 and 2/5.
1 and 2/5.
Or you could also do 7/5.
I can also make it 7/5. 1 and 2/5. Okay, so yes, sometimes adding and subtracting fractions takes quite a bit of work. None of the work is difficult at all. But if you're willing to do the work, you're going to get it right. Boom, shakalaka, peace out, God bless, love you, do something kind today. Save the bees. Please subscribe, share with your friends and enemies.